to the world. They're very, very vulnerable, and they're very, very raw. And you're opening yourself up to, yes, to having people.
I feel like everyone is kind of like chasing really big dreams,
Yeah.
and we're like, everyone's like working really hard and like kind of doing things that like most people.
Hi everyone, welcome to Odyssey's DTS Soundspace Sunday. My name is Nicole Alvarez, and I'm here with the lovely Nessa Barrett. Hi, Nessa.
Hi, how are you?
We met a little while ago, but again, we'll do it for everybody to watch. I'm Nicole, and it is a pleasure to meet you because I feel like I kind of know you. You know how that social media thing happens where I've been following you for what? You've been on there since like 2019?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So I follow you and you start to think that you know somebody. In reality, you don't. And it's such a pleasure to meet you and then see this whole other side of you.
Thank you.
Do you find that happens a lot when people meet you, that they have expectations of who they think you are?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think social media in general is just a place for people to judge you. Like, and, you know, people already have, like, their idea of you before they even, like, get to, like, say hi, like, face-to-face in person. And that just tends to happen a lot. You know, a lot of people think that I'm just someone that I'm really not. And then they meet me and they're like, oh, wait, like, you're actually nice. And I'm like, what?
And there's more to you. But in social media, would you say it's a necessary evil? Like, we need it, but would you be happy without it?
I mean, currently I don't even have any on my phone, and I've probably been the happiest that I've ever been without it.
Would you recommend that other people do that? Because I have noticed, like I said, I follow you, and there's so many people that want to get, or they want to drag your personal life into things, and you just want to have fun and live your life, and you're focusing on music. And I've noticed, which is very smart, that you very gracefully step back from it.
Yeah.
Did somebody advise you to do that, or did something inside you, like did your mental health check come up, and just your brain said it's time to step back?
No, yeah, totally. I think it was a mental health check, you know. It's kind of like you have to be a certain type of strong to deal with negative opinions about you. And those that kind of, you know, are already so insecure about themselves. I think social media can be such a damaging place, and it's just a false reality.
Yep.
And that's why I kind of decided to, like, get away from it.
All right, let's talk about music. So first, let's rewind a little bit. So many people watching are just getting to know you. You are exploding onto the scene like the star that you are. You're getting played on so many alternative rock stations in between like huge older bands like the Chili Peppers and Coldplay and whatnot. And then along comes Nessa Barrett. How old are you and where are you from?
I am 18 and I'm from New Jersey.
Would they consider you, you're like Gen Z, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how would you describe your generation?
I don't know. I feel like there's just...
Would you say hopeful, positive? Would you say that you're carrying the weight of the past world on your shoulder?
No, yeah. I mean, I think the overall, like, description, I feel like, for me, for Gen Z, would probably be, like, you know, I feel like everyone is kind of like chasing really big dreams, and we're like, everyone's like working really hard and like kind of doing things that like most people that wouldn't do back then when they were like 18, you know. I think we're kind of brave in a way.
So let me ask you, when did music first kind of come knocking on your door? Were you a little girl that fell in love with a song? Do you come from a musical background? Or when was it that you started dreaming of being on the stage?
Well, my dad actually is like, he just loves music.
Yeah.
I always, since I was born, I grew up with a studio in my house always. You know, I recorded my first song when I was like 4 in the studio. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Do you have that anywhere?
Yes, I do. I have it saved. It's me and my dad's song. So my dad rapped, and then I was singing in it when I was 4.
Oh my God.
And so, you know, it's always been like insanely like influenced by my family. My mom has amazing music tastes. Like, she's just like incredible. And so, yeah, I feel like
So it was always around. I grew up in that kind of house where they were always playing music, but I can't do what you do, so I just go to a lot of concerts. But when did you start dreaming the big dream where you started to see yourself on stage?
Oh, I mean, I don't know exactly when, but I just know that like from the age of like 9 to 16, every birthday that I had, I would blow out my candle, and my wish was always to be a singer. I got like a dog back home, and I named her Callie because I wanted to move out to California and like Hollywood, and
wow.
it's just like always been a big dream, and it's just like so crazy.
Well, that's not that crazy because here you are now. But who was the one that came knocking on your door and said, all right, if you have this dream, let's do it? Who gave you, I guess you could say, your first chance?
It's a really good question. I think that, I was coming out to LA when I gained a platform on social media, and I started actually singing on TikTok, and that was something that I was very vulnerable about. I'm
because you're putting it out there.
No.
And what was your following? So you had a pretty big following from the beginning, and you would do, the dances and the funny stuff. But what was your following like before you started putting yourself out there? What were you at? 5 million?
No, yeah, I'm gonna say I'm 2, 3 million.
That's still
yeah.
freaking huge.
Yeah.
And then you decided to just put yourself out there. And then did you find that it was a supportive community and it made you want to do it more, or did it scare you?
No, I thought everyone was so supportive, and I was shocked almost, just because it's been such a big dream of mine, but also when I would sing at home and all of this stuff, the one comment that everyone would make about my singing is that my voice is so unique, and as a little girl, that doesn't sound like the best compliment, and I was like, oh, okay, they're just trying to let me down gently, but then
it's a really nice backhanded compliment.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So when I posted my very first TikTok singing videos, I got a really amazing response from everyone, and I think that kind of pushed me to be okay, I think I might actually be able to do something that I've always wanted to do. And then I think from that video, a owner of a studio actually saw that and then asked me to come in and work on some music, and I did, and it started ever since.
And did it feel right? Right away, did you know I can do this?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I jumped in, and just the vibe of being in a studio, in the booth, it just felt like home.
Because you grew up like that. That makes total sense. Now, as far as the lyrics and the things that you're putting out there into the world, they're very, very vulnerable, and they're very, very raw, and you're opening yourself up to having people relate to you, and I think that's amazing. To be a self-aware artist, a la Billie Eilish, for example, who's very self-aware, but you're also opening yourself up to a lot of critique. So how do you handle that part? How do you keep your head in check?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest reason kind of why that I chose to stay so authentic and real with everyone was just because I wanted to stay humble, and grounded, and never forget who I am and where I came from. And it does hurt, when you get comments that you don't really want to hear, like critiques, like you said, especially when I'm being so vulnerable. But I don't know. I just think everything's a learning process, and so I can't really let everything get to me.
No, one thing that I learned that you might have learned this too is that when people are critiquing you, the kind of people, you learn a lot about other humans. The kind of people that critique are broken people, they're hurt people. They've got nothing to do. So it's easier to let that go because you just have to stay focused on your dream and your path. And so far, you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
Watching your excitement when you were going on Kimmel and Ellen, it wasn't just you weren't just posting the videos and the picture, but you were genuinely what is happening to my life right now? So when you were there, were you able to be in the moment, or was it one of those things that you don't even remember it happening because it was so surreal?
No, yeah. I mean, it almost feels like a dream. You know, how you can kind of remember bits and pieces, but not everything. That's kind of what my Kimmel and Ellen performances feel like. I feel like I haven't even felt it completely yet because I'm still in denial. Yeah. I'm there's no way. But it's crazy, and my family would be oh my God, I just saw you, and I'm
it's not just that, and millions and millions of people are seeing you, and now with working with Travis Barker, what's that like? Because we play La Di Da like crazy, and hearing you